Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another news video for Final Fantasy XIV. You will have to excuse my voice today as I'm still attempting to fight off the flu, but I didn't want to just lie in bed and not make a video, especially when there's so much news coming out today. We're looking at various sources today, all of which will be in a description for you as usual for your convenience, but the first thing up is the Simplified job gauge UI changes. This is a new developer blog entry, so you know how cool some of the job gauges look that got added to Stormblood. At first glance, some of them can be somewhat confusing, or even some that aren't really that helpful, but look amazing. Well, with 4.1 we'll have the opportunity to toggle the new Simplified job gauge mode on or off in the UI element settings menu. Some of these new streamlined simple gauges are completely different than the artistic normal ones, however they all go a great distance to making the gauges much easier to read, especially when you're playing your alt jobs or something like that. In addition to this, the UI is going to allow you to combine the simple and normal job gauge elements if you want to use part of the gauges, but not all of them together. This could be especially useful, as they show here for Machinist. Next up, we have some additions to the official Final Fantasy XIV Patch 4.1 promotional page again, this time exclusively looking at new additions. We have been looking at updates to this page in previous videos if you want to go back and check those out. The first update to the website though is that the Return to Ivalice raid. They added 5 new screenshots to the list. The first is with key characters, presumably involving Ramza and Delita, Cid, the Warrior of Light, and someone else talking about the Ivalice raid. The second picture shows a Bangar holding a book before the camera, which would be pointless to speculate at the moment, but the more I see of the Bangar, the more I want to play as one in the future. The third image is of an underground shrine of sorts. At first I thought this could be Wraithwall's tomb from 12 or something, but honestly I'm not really that sure. Either way, it looks really eerie, and I love the light peering through the cracks in what appears to be the surface above this tomb. Our fourth picture here is of the boss that we've seen snippets of in various art so far, also located in the same area as the previous ruins picture. And finally, a shot of that same boss in combat with a party, looking very, very cool. I'm very excited for Return to Ivalice. A small update to the Unending Coil of Bahamut Ultimate next, with 2 new pictures and a bit of text. There once were brave souls who uncovered the truth of the 7th Umbral Calamity. Such trials as they overcame were not to be recorded in history, but far from fading with the passage of time, they have been imagined in vivid detail by the wandering minstrel. As his lilting melody caresses your mind's eye, you cannot help but be transported to the scene of the struggle against the elder primal Bahamut. The first picture is of Nail Deus Darnus from the second coil, Twintania from coil 1, and Bahamut Prime from the final coil all together there, so whether you have to fight them all at once, I'm not really sure. It's looking good. I'm hyped to hear the various stories of how epic this battle is, and follow the no doubt incredible race for its completion across social media and Twitch. It's going to be really exciting to see who gets it first. The next section that was updated was the Adventurous Squadrons. As we know, you'll be able to group with your squad and do any of 5 real instances with them. They show 4 pictures here. The first shows a list here with Halatali, Thousand Moors, Brave Fox's Long Stop, Stone Vigil, and Wanderer's Palace as featured dungeons in this patch. It also shows the Final Fantasy XIV character on the list next to the chosen squad members for the dungeon. The next picture shows the result screen after completing the mission and the various rewards. Notice here that they're actually level 60 max level instead of level 50. And the third image shows the squad against the dragon in Stone Vigil, with the final image showing the interface where you can tell your squad to engage mobs, disengage, and even call for a limit break. Put your squadron's training to the test with command missions, which are 4-man unit operations that will take you on forays into perilous dungeons. With an increased level cap and the option to glamour your squadron's equipment, now is your chance to impress the higher-ups and make a name for yourself in your grand company. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited for that. I want to go and glamour them all to Ruby. If you remember from my last video, I have some ideas lined up for that. Hopefully I can pull it off. Next up, possibly the best new addition, is a section on mounts and minions, of which you know by now I love collecting. I'll just read what this says. A number of new mounts are running, soaring, and swimming their way here. The legendary Kamui, bathed in the light of Shinryu, and the enormous Gopraku Colossus are yours to command. If enchanted furniture is your preferred mode of transport, the flying chair offers unparalleled comfort as you take to the skies. So the first picture here is indeed of a very comfortable looking flying chair mount. The second image is of the Gopraku Colossus, similar to the minion I actually made a video on a few days ago, only this is much bigger and rather adorable. Let's hope he has the little water droplet still on the top. And finally the Shinryu Extreme Dog, which glows bright green. The minion section has two pictures here, firstly of a new Shiba Inu Dog with a sort of like flannel around its neck, which looks really cool, and a wind-up Hien, so presumably we'll see more of him in the main storyline. Page 2 then shows off this lovable koala minion sat on the shoulder of a player here. I will of course be doing quite a few videos on this kind of content in the coming weeks, as you might expect, so we're going to cover them all in big detail when we get them. If we scroll down, even more important additions are located, namely new hairstyles, what appears to be a twin bun sort of longish hair option, and a tied back option with a large spiky quiff on the front of this aura here. These are quite nice. New emotes are mentioned, and we did actually do a video recently on some leaks. There were 13 emotes leaked about 4.1. So we get confirmation here that one of them is to box your opponent, or at least spar with punches, which is really cool and reminds me of Final Fantasy VII in a big way. And the Converse Emote, which is essentially to talk. This is my absolute favourite emote already. It's the emote that main scenario characters do when you talk to them, and they talk and move their hands and body to articulate their points. This is fantastic and will be the feature of hundreds of new machinima on YouTube, so I'm rather excited for that. A small section here was added to the bottom, mentioning that 4.15 will have the perform skill for bards, and about the new cross-world friends option to be able to add people on other servers to your friend list and send them tells. And that about wraps up this video. Let me know what part you're most looking forward to from these new updated bits on the website. Personally, it has to be the Adventurous Squadron and the new minions, mounts and emotes for me, obviously. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I seriously hate flu.